The following is a presentation of Pod Media Works.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Totally Rad Movie Podcast. I am Scott.
Hey, it's Larry.
And we are the Totally Rad Movie Podcast, where we take a movie from the 80s or early 90s, and we discuss it for your viewing or listening pleasure. We have an interesting movie on the docket. We had set this one up. God, it's been like a month, right?
Yeah, it's been over a month.
We're a little bit late on this one, but we had a movie that we set up. We wanted to talk about a good classic, not the TV show of the same name, but written by the same guy.
Yeah.
1992's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm kind of excited, interested to see your take on this, Larry. But for those of everybody in here, and since I know it's been a while since you saw it up until this point, it's again on you to tell everybody what is the story of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
So, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1992 classic. It's basically about this girl, Buffy, who is a cheerleader, right? Like popular high school girl who this old man approaches her and is like, hey, you're the chosen one. You got to go help me fight these vampires.
I say whenever an old man just comes up a teenage girl, it's never a good thing.
No, not at all. We'll get into that. But right. That's really basically it. And then the vampires are in her town, and with the help of Luke Perry, Christy Swanson's Buffy has to defeat the vampires.
It really is a very simple movie.
That's it. I got nothing else.
Yeah, like that's it is one of the most plots out there. You're like, she doesn't want to fight vampires, but she's apparently a reincarnation of.
Yeah, because the Slayer right as one Slayer dies, a new person becomes the Slayer, and the old guy's got to go find her and train her and all that stuff.
I do love how they do have some time hopping and everything. And apparently, there's kudos to this movie for getting Donald Sutherland to do this, by the way. He's just always Donald Sutherland. Like, in the flashbacks, it's him playing the person, right? It's like, they're just like, we're not going to pretend like it's a different person every time. It's Donald Sutherland. He dies and then he's back as Donald Sutherland, I guess.
Yeah. But he was kind of creepy, right?
He's very creepy in the movie.
There's a scene where they're like in the apartment. She makes him a tea or something. And like, they're just having like a weird conversation. Like, I don't know. Again, like, why is the creepy old dude hanging out with the teenage girl? It's odd.
And it's just the dialogue between him and her is always so weird. Like, he's like, I'm just gonna I need you to show the thing. And like, he's such a weird guy. Every time you talk to him, like, that guy is gonna rape you. Like, at a certain point, like, it is an awful thing.
Right? No, but come with me. I'm going to train you how to be a Slayer. There's an awesome montage scene of her training, which is pretty great. Doing the tumbles and the cartwheels and all that stuff.
That's one of my
favorite scenes.
Throwing stakes at a dummy that's kind of just like hanging from the ceiling.
A dummy vampire. Whatever.
Dummy
you got to learn somehow. That's how you learn. It's like Rocky, but like with stakes and fake vampires.
Yeah, exactly. So we have in this movie, we mentioned Donald Sutherland. You mentioned Luke Perry, right? You got Christy Swanson. There's a ton of stars in this movie.
There really are.
Just to go through, let's kind of get some names going here. We got also we have Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman himself, playing the right-hand man.
Yeah, it's like the number 2 vampire guy.
Yeah, to the number 2 vampire to Lothos, played by Rutger Hauer. If you've ever seen Blade Runner, he plays Roy. So he's a I guess he still is kind of big in movies, but he was definitely big in the 80s.
I had no idea who that guy was. And I didn't care to look it up.
Yeah.
I've seen Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I don't really remember
the bleach blonde replicant in there is same dude. We got Hilary Swank is one of Buffy's friends.
Yeah.
You got David Arquette playing Benny, Luke Perry's best friend. And good old Stephen Root, who plays the principal, good comedic actor.
Yeah, the voice of Bill on King of the Hill.
Exactly. Yeah, so I thought you would love. Well known for his role in Dodgeball as well.
Yeah,
so.
Office Space.
Right? Yeah, Office Space. Yeah. The stapler guy. Yeah.
Is he? He's like the principal in this.
I don't know. So I don't know if he's the principal or the guidance counselor because he kind of acts like both in this. But at the end, he's just giving out detention to all the dead vampires. So.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say there's 3 cameos in this though that for people that weren't big stars at the time that are in this movie. Can you name any of those 3 that I'm thinking of?
I know one of the 3.
All right, which one do you say?
Biggest one?
I would say yes. Yeah, the biggest one.
No, number 10 basketball player, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
He's
with his one line of, "It's all yours."
Yeah. He hands the basketball off to the vampire guy. And I read they actually dubbed his voiceover. He did such a bad job acting that the director didn't even use his voice.
It was somebody else saying the same line.
Yeah, but I thought he's only in it for a couple seconds, but I'm like, that's got to be Ben Affleck. So I had to Google it, and sure enough, it was indeed Ben Affleck.
Yeah, so that one I had known. Here's another good one.
Oh yeah, let's see if I
so this Pike's Luke Perry's boss at the shop that he tells if you see Benny, run away. That is a guy played by the one and only Thomas Jane, the Punisher.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
So,
I probably wouldn't recognize him offhand, but sure.
Yeah,
I remember that scene.
Yeah, that was that looks like Thomas Jane, and indeed it is. The third one, he is the only person to be a main character in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show. And be in this movie, Seth Green, uncredited, as one of the vampires. Yes.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Interesting.
Yeah, he is one of the vampires at the end of the dance that's goading Buffy to come outside and everything. So yeah, we have Seth Green, who then went on to play a character. I didn't actually watch the TV show, so I know he's a werewolf.
I guess we should establish that too. I didn't watch the TV show either, so maybe an episode or two. But
I did know that fan. I did know that he's in that, and I do know that it. I guess it was supposed to be based off of the script for this movie, but this movie got changed so much that they went with the original script for the TV show. So they talk about a fire because apparently Buffy was supposed to burn down the gym in the original script.
Okay.
And that didn't happen in the movie, but in the TV show they mentioned that that's why she has to change schools. So
I thought it was interesting. I know Joss Whedon did the TV show. I knew of the movie. I didn't realize that he had a part in making the movie too. Yeah, that was news to me. So
it was his thing, and
that's cool.
It was vastly different. There is one other cameo, but I don't know what this person. I don't remember what this person actually looks like at the time. But apparently, one of the waitresses at one of the little coffee place is Ricky Lake.
Oh, really?
But I wouldn't be able to.
That's a name. That's a name I haven't heard in a very long time.
Yeah, and
God, Ricky Lake. It's right with Jerry Springer. Talk show.
Yeah. So apparently
Jenny Jones.
Yeah, she's one of the waitresses. So we'll go with that. But all right, so I got to get into a couple of things in this movie. It's a fine watch, but it is hard to get through.
So it has its moments, but there's other times where it's just kind of a mess.
Yeah. The fight scenes.
Yeah.
Are the worst.
They're overly choreographed,
and they're so slow. They're punch,
Even
like
her, like we talked about her tumbling like in the montage, like when she's actually doing like the moves in the fight scene, they're like totally laid out and like a little bit too slow. It doesn't feel natural.
Yeah, it's too slow. Like you said, it's just like nothing is. It's just like if there was a real life, that girl's gonna be like she'd be bit.
Yeah,
like,
especially against like multiple vampires.
Yeah, like you're moving way too slow here. And so yeah, it's just the dialogue is wonky in the movie. I very much enjoy Pike and Benny, because I think like they were the kind of the highlights. I'm very sad that Benny had to go the way of the vampire, but
I kind of like, all right, I watched this in parts, right? I watched like the first half, then I watched second half. Like Benny disappears for like a long time, right? David Arquette, and then he pops back up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot he was a thing.
Yeah, right. Like it's
a weird movie,
and just certain things just drive me bonkers. Like the whole Amlin losing his arm. Pee Wee Herman gets his arm cut off because
right away in the car, right? Like
in the car,
Perry's van.
Like I guess he's messing around, but it doesn't seem like that's something that a person that's been alive for as long as he supposedly has would be like, I'm gonna, I'm trying to make this guy crash so that I can get him out of the vehicle. I'm gonna leave my arm in there, and when he crashes, like you didn't. Like it was not a well thought out plan for someone who's supposedly
1,200 years old.
Yeah.
And he survived the Crusades.
Yes,
but he can't survive Luke Perry driving a van.
And I'm going to be honest here. He seems like he's probably one of the smartest people in the movie,
which is sad. But
like his dialogue and all the stuff that he says, like he seems the most like decently competent person. Way to go to have a competent like henchman in a movie though, because usually they're kind of incompetent. But he builds an army. Like he's
fine. I will say that he's not very menacing or scary at all.
He looks like Boy George a little bit.
He looks like visually he looks like a good vampire, but like they don't do much to make him scary or intimidating or like at no point like if. Do you really think that Buffy is going to be in trouble with this guy? And then even when he dies, right, he does the overdramatic death, which I get. It's like a horror comedy thing, but like even when he dies, like it's goofy and like he's supposed to be the number 2 big bad guy. Like he's not that scary, man.
So I need to talk about Lothos for a second. The main bad vampire.
He's not scary either. He's just
not
weird.
Scary at all. He's not like menacing.
No,
he doesn't seem like he's also, I think, almost too old. I think they got him in the movie like, we got this like great actor, we gotta bring him in, and they're like, I don't know if we're gonna give him this weird like long hair and coiffed, and he's not scary. He's not convincing as a bad guy in that role.
That was my big problem with all the vampires.
And like he just has some mysterious power to make Buffy like, until there's no, is it like music? Like they don't explain why.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Like he's like, oh, when the music stops, like you'll, go forward. And you're like, what does music have to do with anything? You didn't say this at all. But I guess he's always playing music, so maybe it has, like that needs to be explained because it was.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like what
you're talking like at the end when he captures her, like right?
Yeah, and then
her,
and he goes for like 5 minutes in the point where he can bite her, and he just doesn't because he's like allows her to keep talking for some reason. Like, I don't know.
Just like he could have killed her earlier in the movie too, and like Pee Wee Herman's like, dude, why don't we just kill her? And it's like, no, not yet.
I need to wait.
Yeah,
and then Donald Sutherland dies the most weird role because he like. It's like Lothos and him know each other, right? They're like, we know each other. And then they just like, they're holding hands where he has a stake. And then just the vampire like makes him stab. Like,
pretty weak. Again, for
it's weak.
These people have been alive for centuries. And like, you went down pretty easily.
Yeah, right. Like it's such a just the action in it is just awful, and the acting in some sense, like
I really like the Christy Swanson scenes where she's like extra Valley Girl and talking about like fashion and that kind of stuff. But when she's serious,
facial,
yeah. But when she's serious, like those scenes didn't really work for me.
No.
I like the goofy ones, like when she first meets up with Donald Sutherland, like in the gym and stuff. That scene's great. There's a couple other ones. What she's like, she tells him that the difference between her and the other vampire slayers is she's got like a better fashion sense. I like that Christy Swanson Buffy, but you don't get to see that throughout the whole movie. It's only in a couple of scenes.
Right. And then like Hilary Swank. I love Hilary Swank. I'm going to tell you, like, she's done some great roles in her day.
This is not one of them.
This is not one of them.
Okay.
She does not do a good Valley Girl.
She did have one of my favorite scenes though. At the end, you talked about it before, when they're in the gym at the dance and the zombies are at the doorway and they can't cross the threshold unless somebody invites them in. And Buffy's like, "Oh, we're good unless somebody invites them in." And then Hilary Swank pops up and like, "I invited them in.
They're seniors.
They're seniors." I'm like, well done, Hilary Swank.
Right. Good show. Yeah,
just like invited the vampires in, man.
She's just the acting in it, like her Valley Girl is just, it's bad, man. Like I am surprised that she would still get roles after it. Obviously, it was good enough for her to do roles, and she is a good actress. But that was just not a good.
She was young though too.
Yeah.
This is 92. I feel like Hilary Swank didn't.
Like late 90s.
Yeah, like late 90s, early 2000s when she really took off.
Right. So she was in that. Was it the Clint Eastwood one? Yeah, that was way later.
Yeah,
so,
well,
that's
when she really. That's when she really like
heyday,
became a superstar. Yeah.
But yeah, so I remember watching this as a kid and was like, this movie's great. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, this is such a cool movie. It's got action and vampires and they're staking people. And I'm like, even when they stake people, like, it's not that easy to put you're just like, but she's like, just pokes a person like, stake basically, all the way through a person. Yeah, you're like, how? Like, it makes it, she just like flicks her wrist and like gets the vampires. So yeah, that's it. So let's get into the thing that I most love, is because every movie that we go over, we have a point that we really love and a point that we just think is just awful. So we call those the totally rad and the totally bogus moment. So let's go over I'm going to do it a little bit different here. So we're going to go with the totally bogus moment first.
Totally bogus.
So Larry, out of this movie, with anything going on here, what is your totally bogus moment from Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
All right. So my totally bogus moment from Buffy is, I don't really have one.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah,
you
go
first.
Go?
You can think of one, because I got two. I actually have two.
Oh, go first.
They both pertain to the end. One of them is when she brings up your one of your favorite quotes about the fashion sense. The second time, and she Lothos sets the cross on fire, and she does the hairspray to blow it in his face. Yeah. They just put like a little fire effect over his head, and like it doesn't burn him. It doesn't do anything other than his head's on fire, and then it just pans away. Like I was like, what did that do? Did that do anything?
I don't think it did. It slowed him down. That's all.
Yeah, it made him go like, yeah. So that was one of them. It's just like you couldn't have made it like look like it was burning him a little bit. Like, this is 92.
No, that cost too much.
A year later, Jurassic Park came out. Like, they could do some decent special effects. Like, there is the option for it. So that I was like, that's pretty dumb. The second one, when Pike kills Benny by electrocuting him. Shouldn't Pike be dead too? He's literally holding onto a person, against a transformer, electrocuting him, shouldn't the electricity also go into Pike?
You would think, yeah.
Like I looked at that, I was like, how did that's you?
Yeah,
I was like, that both of you are dead now. Both of you died.
Yeah.
And how did
True.
And another thing, how did all the vampires die at the end? Like, because it only showed her killing one or two.
Yeah, but there was,
and then there's like a whole bunch of them dead. Did like the other students do that? And are they aware that those were vampires, or were they just stabbing these people?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of thought it was Luke Perry. I thought he took care of all of them.
Right.
But I don't know how the one human guy was take out at least like a dozen vampires.
Yes, because I mean, honestly, he does take out a decent amount in the movie.
Yeah, they show him get a couple.
Yeah,
but you're right. Like there's a lot. So my totally bogus moment was the vampires taking over that party. Like there's the DJ vampire,
Patricia Arquette, by the way.
Is that who it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's the DJ vampire. They're dancing. They're having a good time. As I guess Luke Perry is killing them.
Yeah,
like you said, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Here's the question: like, yeah, the vampires are like, "Ooh, we're gonna eat all these kids." Yeah, and the DJ just puts on the thing and just starts like, to the song, starts dancing to it.
Yeah,
and like they're not menacing vampires. Like a couple of them were, but a lot of them were just like they're going like ooga booga and like scaring people.
Yeah, that's what they do. Right, they do the jump, I'm here,
and the kids run away, and they're like, ha 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 ha. Like what are you? What menace are you doing?
Like honestly, just all of the like even the Pee Wee Herman one, like right, even Paul Rubens was pretty bad. Like all the vampires just don't make a whole lot of sense. No. I guess like a totally bogus moment is like Paul Rubens' death. I guess it was supposed to be funny, but like again, he's supposed to be this big bad vampire guy, right? The second in command, leading everything, and he dies easily. He takes the stake with putting up no fight, and then he does the prolonged death, which sure, whatever, funny. But like, come on, man, like that's the best you got.
Okay, so I need to go into the totally rad moment then.
Like totally rad.
Because mine is the Paul Rubens death. For me, it's the little oasis of this movie that gets me. It makes me laugh every time.
Random.
Just because it's the
Did you catch the after credits scene?
Yeah, Ray sits back up and he does
it again. Yeah,
he does it. The best part of it to me is because we've all done this where you get hurt and you're near a wall and you start kicking the wall really. And you start,
it hurts. Yeah.
You start doing the wall kick and like the kind of like where you like hunch down. Like everybody that's been hurt has done that exact motion, and it's like to me he had the same reaction as if a kid kicked him in the shin. Like somebody kicks him in the shin, he's like
stake to the heart. But
but he got like a literal yard stake almost, like the thing that they put in the yard to put like the little tape on. It's like this thin little like a paint stir. It is a very thin piece of wood that she gets him with. But that for me that was my totally rad moment. I love this.
I think that's the first time we've done that.
It is. This is the first time where one person's totally rad is the other person's totally bogus. But that was mine. So what about you?
So my totally rad moment from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm going with Luke Perry. Just all of Luke Perry. Like he totally made this movie. Like it's early Luke Perry, right? Like 90210 was this thing. I don't know if you watched.
Was this before 90210
or right around the same time?
Or around the same time. I'm not very well versed in the 90210 time frames, so
90210 started in 1990, so it might have been filmed. Yeah, like I feel like he looks a little bit young, but then again, 90210 was on for a really long time. Right? But he was clearly a superstar when this came out. I don't know if you watched the trailer or not, but really the whole trailer is Luke Perry centric, which is pretty hilarious, right? He's not even the main character. It's told like he's the narrator. He's telling about how he met this girl and stuff. It like really portrays an entirely different movie than what it actually is because he's Luke Perry.
And they're banking on that star power, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, you can Luke Perry fighting vampires. You get Luke Perry on a motorcycle, Luke Perry on like
in a van.
He's got like the dirt bike, like he's got the leather jacket. Like Luke Perry makes this movie.
I actually just thought of another weird movie continuity thing. So he has the dirt bike, right? At the one scene.
Yeah, he
and
does.
then the next time you see him, he has an actual motorcycle.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to the dirt bike.
He got an upgrade apparently off screen.
Yeah. But I remembered because I'm like, oh, Luke Perry and a dirt bike. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
so Luke Perry surprisingly is one good thing. Like I said, I love the interaction between Luke Perry and Benny.
And even Luke Perry and Buffy is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like Christy Swanson, she's her best when he's on the screen.
I love how he doesn't bat an eye that Benny is floating on the second story, and he's like, let me in. He's like, dude, it's like super late and you're floating. Like, no, I'm not gonna let you in my house.
Yeah, and he goes along with all this crazy stuff too. He's trying to get out of town, but then you meet the blonde girl, and all of a sudden you're like, nah, I'm gonna stay. I'm
gonna stick around.
I'm gonna go ahead and stay and fight these vampires because that makes
kind of like this. I kind of like this girl here. So let's see.
Hey man, young love.
Yeah, right.
Makes you make stupid decisions
like fighting vampires. Oh,
Manny, I used to watch 90210 as well. Not a lot, but I've seen my share of episodes of the original 90210.
Yeah. So that works. So let's go through here and do our
we gotta rank it.
We gotta rank this one. So again, I say this every time, but I'm gonna keep going. We're not ranking this based on quality of movie compared to today's standards, right? We're looking at how well does this movie hold up, and is it still entertaining to watch today? Out of 5, Larry, what is your ranking for Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
So I think I'm going to go with a solid 2 out of 5. It was okay. Like I said, like, I don't know. It could have been better, but it wasn't, like it holds up enough. It just didn't have enough like action and humor. Like it touched on those things. It just wasn't enough consistent to like really make me fall in love with it. It's just all right.
Yeah. I we're going back to agreeing here.
Uh-oh.
2 for me. It wasn't awful. It's not awful. No. Will I watch it again? It's been I would say probably 15 years since I last watched it, and it'll probably be 15 years before I ever watch it again. If I ever do watch it again.
The next time there's a pandemic and you're quarantined in your house, you might throw in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You know what? Honestly, I don't think I would.
It's for nostalgia. When it's 2035 and the world's falling apart like it is now,
right? You
might be like, you know what? I remember when Larry and I talked about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I'm gonna watch this back again.
Yeah, and like your Hollow TV or whatever we got by then.
Right, exactly. I'm just gonna beam it straight into my brain.
Yeah, there you go.
And then, I highly doubt I will make any effort to watch this movie.
I have no interest in watching it again.
And honestly, at a 2, like, if you like the Buffy TV series or you're a big fan of all things Joss Whedon, it's worth checking out. But I would not run out and watch this movie at any point. You can just listen to us just badmouth it and be like, okay, it's crap, and then kind of go from there. So anything else that you want to say about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Larry?
No, like this was my pick. This is the movie that almost killed the Totally Rad Movie podcast, but we're back.
Yeah,
and we might even do something. We'll at least be back probably in 2 weeks. There might be something special before then. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we need to try to make up for some lost time, and since we're all quarantined anyway, what better way to watch the movie? So you might see some new stuff. We're still working that out here.
At least we got like I've had like I don't even know if I told Scott. Like I've talked to some people about being special guests on here too. Some friends from other podcasts.
If they're quarantined too, might be a good time. So
why not?
We might have some new episodes here.
We haven't picked what's next,
soon.
but there should be. We should be back. We just hit a road bump. Right?
Well, we do I was
out of town.
And everything, and like we've life happened, but we are not abandoning anything here. We're going to keep going with this.
And you can also find us live every Saturday night on YouTube or on Spotify with the STS Guys podcast. Is that still a thing as well? You can follow us on Instagram at STS Guys, at Twitter at STS Guys. And we're also on Facebook. We're actually live on Facebook right now, too. So shout out to Facebook. And you can also follow Totally Rad Movie Podcast to find out what that next episode is going to be at Totally Rad Pod on Instagram and Twitter.
I'm going to give Nate's obligatory shillin' like a villain.
Shout out to Nate.
Nate, who's in the chat there. So cool. Well, for episode 13 of the Totally Rad Movie Podcast, I have been Scott.
Hey, it's Larry.
And everybody have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.